The most simple fingerpicking pattern is also the most popular. Of course, I'm referring to the PIMA, P-I-M-A, which stands for Pollice, Indice, Medio, and Anulare. In English, thumb, index, middle, and ring. It sounds like this. Now, the PIMA is indeed one of the most simple fingerpicking patterns to organize. The thumb will always strike the bass note of the chord, so if I play a C major chord, I'm going to strike the lowest note of this chord, which is the note C on the A string. If I play an E major chord, I will strike the lowest note, which is the low A string open. And I'm going to do the same thing with all the other chords. The index, middle, and ring finger dog can cover different set of strings. For example, if I play an E minor chord with the PIMA, I'm gonna have the thumb on the low E string, of course, but I could have the index, middle, and ring starting on the A string, or starting on the D string, or starting on the G string. So in this case, I have 3 different voicings for this chord. Now this is a great feature that this fingerpicking pattern has, because we can put down one chord and then decide which voicing of the chord we want to emphasize. And in this video, I thought it would be cool to play a chord progression using this feature, emphasizing this feature quite a lot. In fact, each chord that we're going to play is going to have a lot of different voicings. Now, first things first, if you're not familiar with the PIMA pattern, I would recommend that you try it on basic open chords. Put down a bunch of chords that you already know, for example, C, A minor, D minor, and G, and practice this fingerpicking pattern slowly. Now let's talk about the chord progression that we are going to use with the PIMA. The goal here is to create different voicings. And so we're going to play the chord progression in E minor like this. So we are in the key of E minor, so the first chord is the E minor. Now the second chord is the dominant chord, chord 5, the B7, which is played with fret number 2, 1, 2, open, and 2. Then the chord 6, which is the C major chord, 3, 2, open, 1, and open. And then the G major with 3, open, open, and 3. It's a very simple and beautiful sounding chord. Now, of course, guys, we can use the PIMA to play the chords without changing the voicing, like this. So this is definitely an exercise. However, we're going to make it a little bit more creative, and we're going to try to, make these chords sound more melodic. And so the first chord is the E minor, and we're going to pluck the strings like this. Of course, the thumb is going to play the bass note of the chord, the low E string. Now the first round is going to have the index finger on the D string. So the voicing of this chord is on the B string. The voicing is the singing note of the chord, so which is basically the highest note. So in this case, the voicing is the B string open. Now the second round is going to have the index on the G string, and so the voicing is on the E string, fret number 3. So we're gonna play the low E string, G string, B string, and the E string, fret number 3. The third round is gonna have the index finger on the G string and the voicing on the E string open. So I'm playing open strings. And then the fourth round, we're gonna go back to play the D string, fret number 2. So the index is on the D string and the voicing is on the B string. So we have the string number 6, 4, 3, and 2. So when I put the whole thing together, it sounds like this. Now the second chord is the B7, right? We still have 4 different rounds. Now the first one is gonna have the index on the D string, right? So we have thumb on the A string, then index, middle, and ring. Now we're gonna do it again, but with the index on the G string. The thumb is always on the same bass note. Then we're gonna go back with the index on the D string. And the last one is quite interesting because we're gonna do the index on the G string. So we have thumb, index, middle, but the ring finger is on the E string open. So we get rid of the fret number 2. Now the third chord is the C major chord, and it sounds lovely. So you want to put down the chord, and the first round is going to have the index finger on the D string. So it's thumb, index, middle, and ring on the B string. Now the second round will have the index on the G string. So we do string 5, 3, 2, and 1, but this time we play the fret number 3. So it's a nice and lovely open and bright voicing. So now the third round will have the E string open and the index on the G string. So it's thumb, index, middle, and ring. And then we're gonna play the fourth round, which is also quite interesting. We are playing the index on the D string. We have the A string, fret number 3, and then the D string, then the G string, and the B string, fret number 3. So we're gonna change the voicing of this chord and finish with the B string, fret number 3, the note D. So when I put the whole thing together, and of course I finish with the last 2 chords, the G major, now the G major is played with the thumb on the low E string. This is the bass note, and the arpeggio will have the index on the D string. So I have thumb, index, middle, and ring. And then again, thumb, index, middle, and ring on the B string open. We're only gonna have 2 rounds on the G major chord, and then we go back to the B7. And we have 1 round with the voicing on the B string open, and then just the bass. So when I do it slowly, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, guys, Skillshare, the online learning community with thousands of awesome classes. Now, I have been using Skillshare for a while, guys, and not just to learn things that I need. I think it's quite entertaining to have so many different lessons, so many different classes in just one place. In fact, there is a class for almost anything. You can learn about art, music, business, self-improvement, and more. Now, the cool thing is that you can access all these classes for free for a limited period of time, of course. The first 1,000 people who click the link down below get a free trial of Skillshare Premium, meaning you can access all the classes that you want. And then if you like it, you can sign up for less than $10 a month. Now, thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Of course, guys, to give a structure to the exercise, we can add a different section, and I thought it would be cool to add a simple melody to the chords as well. We're going to keep things very, very simple. We're going to open up with the C major chord, A minor, and the B7. E minor, now the first chord is a lovely and beautiful C major 7 chord. Such a lovely thing to play, right? 3-2, open, open, open. And the arpeggio is quite simple, still the same PIMA, so we do it twice, then we strike the bass and then the melody, playing the note G, A, and B. Then we have the A minor chord. It's still the same PIMA, and the A minor, it's kind of a simple chord, 2, 2, 1, and the voicing is on the B string. Then the bass, and then the melody, playing the C, the D, and the E. And then we have the B7. This is where things are a little bit more challenging for beginners. So the B7 chord, we play the chord twice. The index is on the G string, right? So we have thumb, index, middle, ring. Then the bass and the melody here is on one string, the E string, fret number 2, 3, and 5. And we finish with the E minor chord. The E minor is very simple. Fret number 7. Fret number 3. So the arpeggio is twice, one time with the voicing on fret 7, one time fret number 3. Then the bass, and then fret number 3, 2, and open. And then we go back to the same chord progression. And we finish with the B7. We can strum this chord lightly. And the last two notes, the F sharp on fret 4 and the E string, fret number 5. Such a lovely, it's a diminished chord, F sharp diminished chord, but we only play two notes, the F sharp and the A. And then the E minor chord, which can be played in many different ways. You could just do an E minor, or the E minor with the voicing on the G. Of course, guys, the PIMA can be used just as a simple finger picking pattern over a simple chord progression that never moves. You don't have to change the voicing of a chord all the time, right? So you can just keep it simple if you want and just practice the chords that you already know with this lovely and popular finger picking pattern. And then when you want to take it to the next level, you can use different voicings to create more movement between the chords. Now I'm gonna leave you to practice this lesson, guys. Let me know if you like it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for another tutorial. Have a lovely day.